Hello, my name is Bonnie Samoji, and this is my artifact for Advanced Visual Basics Spring 2022. I created a loan calculation program in Visual Studio. It has our standard menu bar with File, an option to print screen and exit, Help and About. There are labels and text boxes to enter the principal borrowed, the interest rate as a decimal that the principal was borrowed as, the loan term in months. Enter will proceed with calculations. Cancel will blank out all of the entries and allow you to restart the process. And this is a text box that is multi-line that will print out the results once the user has entered the information. I created a class called loan.vb to hold the loan information. There is a public property for the principal, the interest, both of those are decimal types, and months as an integer. There are two constructors. One is a standard constructor if no arguments are given, that just sets everything to 0. The second constructor accepts 3 arguments, 2 decimal arguments, and an integer, and populates the parameters of principal, interest, and months. I also wrote a function that will calculate the monthly payment. It accepts an object, the loan object, as an argument, and then breaks down the 3 variables needed from the loan object that is sent as the argument. The loan principal will update the principal, loan interest will update the interest, and loan months will update the months. I created a variable called multiplier that uses this calculation of 1 plus interest divided by 1200 to the power of the months given, and this gives the overall loan multiplier based on a 12-month repayment schedule. A variable to hold the monthly payment as a decimal, and then the calculation. The payment is equal to the principal times the interest times the multiplier divided by 1200 times the multiplier minus 1, and then the function will return the payment. Now to the overall program design. This is the overall main method of the program, and I'll go through it step by step in detail. It uses a combination of if, then, else statements to verify the number data. I wrote separate functions to verify the data type being sent. Here we have our cancel button that when clicked it clears each of the text boxes. It sets the focus on the principal text box, and it also clears the result text box. For the print from the menu, it just prints the entire form. It uses the same format that we used in our screensaver program earlier in the semester. The About box pulls up the About box so you can pull the information, and it uses the properties of the project to do so. Exit exits the application. These are the 2 functions I used to double check the input from the user. These functions use a Boolean to verify that the number can be converted to the types I need. So it tries to convert the number to a double. It accepts the string input from the user, tries to convert it to a double. If it can be converted, it returns a true Boolean. If it cannot be converted, it catches the exception in the try-catch block and returns a false for the Boolean. And I've done this for double and for integer, since those are the two variable classes I'm using. Now to go to the meat of the program, these variables get the user's data. So I take the string entered into the text box and store it into string variables, and then that way I can use those variables to verify that the type is correct for error purposes. And then here I begin validating the entries. So I start saying if the type check double is false, so if I can't convert the entry to a double, then I'm going to show this error message. Otherwise, if I can, I'm going to go ahead and convert that, and then I'm going to verify that the principal is greater than 0. If the principal is not greater than 0, I'm going to show this pop-up error message and reset the string to empty. If it is greater than 0, then I'm going to go ahead and start checking the interest. And it goes through the same process. If the interest can be converted or can't be converted, we're going to check and see if it can be converted. And then if it can't, we're going to show this error message here. If it can be converted, we're going to go ahead and convert that interest into a double. And then we're going to check that the interest is not less than 0 or greater than 1. So what we want the decimal between 0 and 1 for the interest rate. If it is not between those variables, then we're going to show this error message telling them that the interest must be a decimal value greater than 0 and less than 1, and to enter a new value. If the interest is valid, then we're going to go ahead and go on to check the months that were entered. And same thing, we're going to check that it can be converted to a valid integer. So that way we're protecting against, if they enter in a letter, or if they enter in anything that can't, a decimal, anything like that, that will prevent them from entering in the invalid data. Otherwise, if it can be converted, we're going to go ahead and convert it, and then we're going to check that they enter in a value greater than 0. If all of those conditions are met, then we are going to define the new loan object with the principal, interest, and months that we have converted. We will calculate the payment using the loan class. Then we're going to calculate the total paid over the life of the loan. So we're going to take that payment and we're going to multiply it times the months that were provided to get the total amount that they're going to pay over the life of the loan. Then we'll calculate the total interest. So the total interest is going to equal the total life of the loan minus the principal borrowed. And then this will display the results into the text box. It will tell us the loan principal, and we formatted that into a currency. It will go to a new line and display the interest rate. Go to a new line, display the term of the loan in months. Go to a new line and display the monthly payment, formatted for currency, the loan total, formatted for currency, and the total interest paid, formatted for currency. And this is what it looks like when we run it. So here you see I can enter the total borrowed, and let's say I enter a negative 10.05, and we can just do 60. I also entered enter as the accept button and cancel as the escape button, so I can just hit enter instead of clicking on it. And we see we get the error that principal must be greater than 0. So I can click OK. It blanks out the principal to be re-entered, and I can enter, say, 100,000. If I enter in the interest as 5% instead of 0.05 and click enter, it tells me interest must be a decimal value greater than 0 and less than 1. Enter a new value. So I click OK. It blanks out that line to be re-entered, so I can do 0.05 for 5% instead of 5. And then loan term in months. We can change that to do -25. Enter Months must be a positive number. Enter a new value, click OK. And I need to go in and add to blank that out. But do 60, click enter, and since all conditions are met, it does the calculations and it shows loan principal formatted, interest rate at 5%, term of loan 60, our monthly payment would be $1,668.79. The loan total would be $100,127.14, and total interest paid would be $127.14. If I click cancel, it blanks everything out so it can be re-entered. Help about shows loan artifact version 1, copyright me 2022. This program allows the user to input the principal amount, interest rate, and term of the loan. They can then generate an amortization report. They can also print a copy of the report if desired. Click OK and you'll see it re-enables my main form. And if I wish to print, I can click on File, Print, and I have it set up to print to my OneNote. And OK. And this will show a printout of the screen as desired. And then finally, File, Exit.